All right, welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to completely reframe how you look at your financial future. It's really time to stop acting like a passive passenger just hoping for a lucky break and start stepping up as the architect of your own wealth. Because let's be real, becoming a millionaire, it almost never happens by accident, and definitely not from lottery tickets. It happens through a deliberate, repeatable, mathematical system. So let's build that exact blueprint together.
Now, to kick things off, the entire foundation of this blueprint relies on a massive mindset shift. It's one made famous by the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Basically, you have to ruthlessly stop buying liabilities, the stuff that constantly drains your pocket, and start acquiring actual assets, things that actually put money into your pocket. But today we're moving past the basic theory. We're going to put this into actionable practice.
Okay, here's the step-by-step blueprint we're following today. We'll start with the core philosophy, then look at maximizing your income gap, putting your money to work, unlocking the power of compounding, and finally avoiding those traps that absolutely destroy wealth.
So, step 1, maximizing your income gap and creating the foundation.
Listen, your wealth literally only grows in the space between what you earn and what you spend. We call this the gap, and you got to optimize it from two sides. On one side, we play defense through frugality. This means actively fighting off lifestyle creep. That natural urge to suddenly upgrade your car or get a fancy apartment just because you got a promotion? Yeah, you got to avoid that. But here's the catch. You can only cut your expenses so far, right? So on the flip side, we play offense. Your earning potential is technically unlimited. You play offense by picking up high-value skills or launching scalable side projects. The ultimate goal here? You want to entirely decouple your time from your income.
All right, moving on to step 2, putting your money to work through asset building. Because look, if you're just leaving your surplus cash sitting in a regular checking account, you're quietly losing purchasing power to inflation every single day. It's like a leaky bucket. The most accessible way to fight back is through paper assets. By consistently investing in low-cost index funds, you're effectively buying these tiny compounding slices of the world's most profitable companies. You're basically just sitting back and letting the global market do the heavy lifting for you.
Next up in our architecture is business equity. This is all about building a business or a digital asset, maybe a software app or some kind of automated online service that generates steady cash flow without you actually having to be there. Imagine having an asset that works around the clock, 24/7, even while you're fast asleep. That's the dream, right?
And finally, our third main pillar here is real estate. Now, this asset class gives you a pretty incredible superpower: leverage. By taking out a mortgage, you can acquire a property that actually does two really powerful things at the exact same time. First, it pays you ongoing rental income from your tenants. And second, the underlying property itself is appreciating in value over the years. It's a massive win-win.
Which brings us to step 3, the power of compounding and using time as your ultimate lever. So if consistency and time are basically the mortar holding this whole wealth structure together, you're probably wondering, how long does the math actually take to hit that magical $1 million milestone? Well, get ready for a massive aha moment here. Let's say you invest $300 a month. Mathematically, it takes about 35 years to reach $1 million. Okay, not bad. But what if you step up that investment to $1,000 a month? You literally shave over a decade off your timeline. You drop it down to just 23 years. But wait, here is the absolute craziest part of this. To get that $1 million in 23 years, you only had to contribute $276,000 out of your own pocket. The remaining $700,000, that is pure compound interest doing all the heavy lifting for you. Mind-blowing, right?
Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably wondering where I pulled that 10% return from. I promise it's not just a made-up number. It's actually very close to the historical long-term average of the global stock market. Sure, in the short term, individual years are going to wildly fluctuate up and down. That's just how it works. But over a span of decades, that historical average is exactly what powers this mathematical wealth engine.
All right, step 4, the traps that destroy wealth and how to protect your system.
Listen, once you build this system, you have to throw a heavy security fence around it. First off, beware of high-yield scams. If anyone promises you guaranteed high returns with zero risk, run. Literally, just walk away. True wealth takes patience. There are no magic tricks. You also absolutely have to avoid bad debt. Never ever use credit cards or loans to buy depreciating assets like expensive clothes or a brand new car. Rule of thumb, if it doesn't make you money, do not go into debt for it. And lastly, beware the trap of inaction. Waiting around for the quote-unquote perfect market is a 100% guaranteed way to lose.
Actually, let's talk about that final trap for a second, because inaction is honestly the most dangerous of them all. As we wrap up this explainer, remember this. The earlier you start, even if it's with an incredibly small amount of money, the more time compounding has to work its absolute magic. The system is laid out for you. The math is completely proven. So the only real question left for you as the architect is, when are you going to lay your first brick?